Recently, I asked my friends when was the first time that they heard about the one drop rule, and their answers were really incredible. So we're sharing them here, and we'd like to hear yours. So send us an email, tweet us, anything, and let us know when was the first time that you learned about the one drop rule.
Yeah, so society needs to get ready for this change. The multiracial community needs to get ready for this change. The state of California is going to have some problems with it because the state of California is also doing this type of one drop rule. Okay? Here's another funny story for you. Explain this. Okay, I'll explain this for you. Okay. 3 years ago in 2013, the California Department of Finance, they did a study looking at California, seeing how the different racial groups are going to grow or change in size between now all the way out to the year 2060. Okay, so they were looking way into the future, what the trends are. And they predicted that in 2014, Latinos will outnumber whites for the first time since, I guess, the state founded or a long time ago. They used census data to come up with these projections. And like I said before, Latinos currently are not counted along with as a race. So how can you say that Latinos are outnumbering whites when it's possible for Latinos to be white? You see? Yeah, so it's kind of confusing. So I went and I looked at their study to try and figure out how did they come up with these numbers. And I found something very interesting. They actually manipulated the census data. They tweaked the data. Okay?
That's not very good.
No, it's not good at all. So, it wasn't written into the report. You actually had to look at the table of data that they put there with all the numbers. And when you look at the column headings that they had for each group, then you realize what they did. So the first thing that they did that was unlike the census is they created a mixed race category. See, the census doesn't call people. Well, it's just different. It's different from the census. Okay, the census doesn't have a mixed race category. They don't call people multiracial or mixed race. They count people as two or more races, right? So if you were, say you were mixed white and black, okay, they would count you as white and they would count you as black at the same time. Your number would show up under the white column and the black column. Okay, and so if you would end up with a greater number of people counting by races than actual people. For example, so you had three people.
Hello.
One person's white, one person's black, and one person is mixed white and black. Okay. So we know that the total number of people is 3. But if we counted the number of white people, you would have 2 white people, and you would have 2 black people.
Good point.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you end up with more people? Well, obviously, the mixed race person is being counted twice. Okay, you see how that works?
Yeah.
All right. That's how the census does it. So if you total up all the people by race, you end up with a bigger number than the total number of people because mixed race people are being counted more than once.
Okay.
California decided not to do that. Instead, what they did is anybody that marked off 2 or more races, they put in a separate column called mixed race.
Okay.
So if you were white and black, you were not counted as white, and you were not counted as black. You were counted as multiracial.
Okay, that sounds a bit easier to understand because you're doubling it, and then
it is easier to understand, but you lose something because now the mixed race people are sort of being torn away from where they came from. Like us being mixed Latino and white, right?
Yeah.
We don't stop being Latino. We don't stop being white just because we're mixed. We still hang out with our families, both sides, you know, so we're still a part of that, but we're also something different. So by pulling out the mixed race people and putting them in a separate column, it makes the math easier, okay, but it doesn't quite capture with as much detail what's happening with these mixed people.
Yeah.
So they're sacrificing truer identity or whatever, to make the math work out better. You see what I'm saying? But here's the other result. By putting the mixed race people in that column, it subtracted everybody else's numbers. So the number of white people went down, the number of black people went down, everybody's race went down, okay, because now they're counted as mixed race.
Okay.
All right. Then they did a second thing that was different from the census.
All right.
They created a Latino racial category.
Mm-hmm.
They combined it to, and the way they did that is anybody who mixed stuff. Yeah, they combined the data. Remember I said that there was two separate questions? California decided to combine them.
Okay.
Okay, and they did that by subtracting anybody that marked Latino from their category. So if you were Latino and white, they subtracted you from white and put you under Latino. If you were Latino and black, they subtracted you from black and put you under Latino.
Mm-hmm.
If you were mixed race and Latino, they subtracted you from mixed race and put you in Latino. In other words, they dumped everybody. They dumped everybody that was Latino into the Latino category. And again, this subtracted from the white, subtracted from the black, subtracted from mixed race people too.
Yeah.
All right. So no wonder Latinos are such a large part of the California population, because the state of California ripped them out, put them in their own column, and lowered everybody else's number.
Yeah.
All right. So again, that kind of makes the math a little bit easier, but
it's not exactly true.
It's not exactly true because it makes Latinos seem like they're very separate from everybody else when they're not. The Latinos are very integrated in society, and so it's sacrificing reality for better math. Okay. Now this is where it gets really tricky. In 2020, right? The census, like I said, is going to combine these two questions. So Latinos are going to be able to mark off 2 or more boxes.
Okay.
So what is the state of California going to do when they get this data from the census? They're going to have to choose. Remember, anyone that marked off 2 or more races got put into a mixed race column. But if Latinos mark off 2 or more races, is the state of California going to put them in the mixed race column, or are they going to continue to put them in their own Latino column?
We don't know.
We don't know. And here's the deal.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. Yeah. Here's the other deal. Like, about 1 in 4 Latinos are expected to mark off 2 or more boxes. So if the state of California decides to count them as mixed race, then the Latino population in California is going to go down by about 25%. But if they decide to count them as Latino, then the mixed race population is going to be cut almost in half.
Yikes.
So the state of California has some decisions to make if they're going to continue on with their current policy. Or are they going to come more in line with what the Census Bureau is doing? Do you see?
Are they supposed to kind of allow, like...
that's a really good question. That's very astute of you to ask that. Yes. They should be following federal standards, but they're not. And so this, I don't know, but this is going to be really, really interesting. What could end up happening? People's numbers are very important because it has to do with discrimination. Treatment. It has to do with voting districts, how those are set up, and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really important that they get this right. And because of what California is doing, they might actually be setting the stage for a fight between Latinos and mixed race people
I don't want
to
that
get counted properly. Yeah, it's
not
unnecessary.
very good.
That's not very good. No, fighting's bad. And it's unnecessary. The only reason why it's happening is because California chooses to do their policy in a particular way. If they choose to instead do their policy more in line with what the census is going to do, then the problem goes away.
Yeah.
So it becomes our responsibility now to go to California and say, hey, let's talk about this. Let's get this done right. Let's do it now before it's too late. Thank you for listening to our video, and if you want to learn more about what the multiracial Americans in Southern California are up to, you can visit
AKA Mask.
Yep, you can visit our website at masksite.org, mascsite.org. We are also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and if you want to learn more about our national advocacy issues, including how to deal with the state of California, you can visit our blog on Tumblr called The Multiracial Advocate.
Tumblr.
And what are you doing on Tumblr?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. And we also have a survey where you can hear about our national initiatives and show your support. So thank you very much for joining me in this conversation, and hope to hear from you sometime in the future. Bye!
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up with the latest One Drop news and other videos. Do you have ideas for more video content? Tell us what you'd like to see. We'll see you next time to share more drops of love. Be sure to tell us by commenting here and on Twitter and Facebook how you are spreading drops of love.